Imagine a world dominated by giants, not the gentle giants of fairy tales, but scaled, ferocious predators that make lions look like house cats. A world where the very air hums with the threat of sudden, violent death. Now picture this. You're a relatively small lizard, maybe the size of a loaf of bread. Your ancestors have been scuttling around in the undergrowth for millions of years, just trying to survive. Then, bam, the world changes. The giants start to die out, and a window of opportunity opens. That, in a nutshell, is the story of the Komodo dragon. They didn't just evolve, they seized an evolutionary opening with jaws, claws, and a whole lot of crazy adaptations. And those adaptations, they're what make Komodo dragons so unbelievably weird. We're talking about creatures that can run faster than you might think, swim surprisingly well, and climb trees when they're young. They can eat almost anything, including bones, hooves, and even their own young. Cannibalism, while not exactly common, isn't exactly off the menu either. They have a bite that's not only incredibly powerful, but also delivers a cocktail of venom and bacteria that can kill you even if you manage to escape the initial attack. And, perhaps most bizarrely of all, they can reproduce without a male. Yes, you heard that right. Female Komodo dragons can, under certain circumstances, lay fertile eggs without ever having mated. It's called parthenogenesis, and it's something you usually see in insects or fish, not giant apex predators. It's like nature decided to play God and said, let there be dragons, and let them be able to clone themselves if they feel like it. But let's not get too carried away with the sensational stuff just yet, because the real strangeness of the Komodo dragon lies not just in its individual abilities, but in the combination of them and how they all work together to create a truly unique killing machine. It's a perfect storm of evolutionary weirdness, and it all starts with their size. Think about it. Think lizards aren't exactly known for being huge. Most lizards are small, agile creatures that rely on camouflage and quick reflexes to avoid predators. They're the prey, not the predator. So, how did the Komodo dragon, the largest lizard on Earth, buck that trend? How did it grow to be 10 feet long and weigh over 150 pounds? The answer, as with most things Komodo dragon related, is a little complicated. It involves island gigantism, a phenomenon where animals on isolated islands tend to evolve to be larger than their mainland counterparts. This is often due to a lack of predators and competition, which allows them to grow bigger and fill ecological niches that would normally be occupied by larger animals. But island gigantism alone doesn't explain the Komodo dragon's success. After all, there are plenty of other large lizards on islands around the world. What sets the Komodo dragon apart is its unique set of adaptations, which allowed it to not only grow big, but also to become the dominant predator in its environment. One of the most important of these adaptations is their hunting strategy. Komodo dragons are ambush predators. They lie in wait for unsuspecting prey, often near water holes or trails, and then launch a sudden, explosive attack. They rely on their powerful legs and sharp claws to take down their prey, and their serrated teeth to tear off chunks of flesh. But the real secret to their success lies in their venom. For years, it was believed that the Komodo dragon's bite was deadly because of the bacteria in its saliva. The idea was that the bacteria would infect the wound and eventually kill the prey. But recent research has shown that this is only part of the story. In 2009, scientists discovered that Komodo dragons actually have venom glands in their lower jaws. These glands produce a complex cocktail of toxins that can lower blood pressure, prevent blood clotting, and cause muscle paralysis. In other words, the venom can quickly incapacitate and kill their prey, even if the initial bite isn't fatal. And that's not all. The Komodo dragon's venom also contains anticoagulants, which prevent the blood from clotting. This means that even if the prey manages to escape the initial attack, it will continue to bleed profusely. making it easier for the dragon to track and eventually kill it. It's a truly diabolical system, and it's one of the reasons why Komodo dragons are such effective predators. But the venom is just one piece of the puzzle. To truly understand the Komodo dragon's hunting strategy, we need to talk about their senses, and specifically their sense of smell. Komodo dragons have an incredibly acute sense of smell, which they use to track down prey from miles away. They can detect even the faintest scent of blood or decaying flesh, and they can use this information to locate their next meal. They use their forked tongue to sample the air, much like a snake, and then transfer the scent molecules to a special organ in the roof of their mouth called the Jacobson's organ. This organ allows them to analyze the scent and determine the direction and distance of the source. Think of it as having a built-in GPS for dead animals. It's a gruesome but effective way to find food, and it's one of the reasons why Komodo dragons are so successful at scavenging. They can often find carcasses long before other predators, giving them a significant advantage. But even with their venom and their incredible sense of smell, Komodo dragons still face challenges. One of the biggest challenges is competition from other predators, including other Komodo dragons. As I mentioned earlier, cannibalism is not uncommon among Komodo dragons, especially when food is scarce. The young are particularly vulnerable, and they often have to hide in trees or other safe places to avoid being eaten by their elders. This competition for resources has led to some interesting adaptations. For example, young Komodo dragons are often brightly colored, which may help them to camouflage themselves in the trees. They also tend to be more agile and arboreal than adults, which allows them to escape from larger predators. But as they grow older and bigger, Komodo dragons become more terrestrial and aggressive. They start to compete with other adults for territory and mates, and they often engage in fierce battles. These battles can be brutal, and they often result in serious injuries or even death. And that brings us to another bizarre aspect of Komodo dragon biology: their immune system. Komodo dragons are exposed to a wide range of bacteria and viruses in their environment, and they often suffer injuries from fights with other dragons. Yet, they rarely get sick. Scientists have discovered that Komodo dragons have an incredibly robust immune system, which allows them to resist infections that would be deadly to other animals. They have high levels of antimicrobial peptides in their blood, which can kill bacteria and viruses on contact. They also have a unique set of antibodies that can neutralize a wide range of toxins. In fact, researchers are currently studying Komodo dragon blood in the hopes of developing new antibiotics and antiviral drugs for humans. It's a testament to the power of natural selection that these creatures have evolved such an impressive defense system. So, to recap, we have giant lizards with venomous bites, incredible senses of smell, cannibalistic tendencies, and superpowered immune systems. Oh, and they can also reproduce without males. Are you starting to see why I say nothing about Komodo dragons is normal? It's a laundry list of evolutionary oddities, all rolled into one scaly package. And we're only just scratching the surface, because now we need to delve into the strangest adaptation of all: their reproductive strategy. We touched on parthenogenesis earlier, but the implications of this ability are far more profound than you might think. It's not just a party trick. It's a fundamental aspect of their survival, and it has shaped their evolution in ways we are only beginning to understand. It's a backup plan, a last resort, a way to ensure the survival of the species even in the most challenging circumstances. It's also incredibly rare in the animal kingdom, especially in large vertebrates. So, how does it work, and why do Komodo dragons do it? Well, parthenogenesis, in its simplest form, is a type of asexual reproduction where a female produces offspring without fertilization by a male. The eggs develop on their own without the need for sperm. Think of it like a biological loophole, a way to sidestep the traditional mating game. Now, before you get any wild ideas about Komodo dragons spontaneously generating entire armies of themselves, there are a few crucial details. The offspring produced through parthenogenesis are not clones of the mother. They only inherit genetic material from her, meaning they are less genetically diverse than offspring produced through sexual reproduction. This lower genetic diversity can be a disadvantage in the long run, making the population more vulnerable to diseases and environmental changes. So why would a Komodo dragon resort to this? The answer, as with so many things in the animal kingdom, likely comes down to survival. Imagine a young female Komodo dragon washed ashore on a new island, all alone. There are no males to be found, and the chances of finding one across the vast ocean are slim to none. In this situation, parthenogenesis becomes a lifeline. It allows her to reproduce and establish a population, even in the absence of a mate. It's a remarkable adaptation that gives these dragons a significant edge in colonizing new territories. But it's not just about being alone on an island. Parthenogenesis can also be triggered by other factors, such as stress or lack of access to suitable mates. In captivity, where Komodo dragons are often kept in single-sex enclosures, parthenogenesis has been observed more frequently. This suggests that it may be a response to environmental conditions that limit the opportunity for sexual reproduction. It's a fascinating example of how animals can adapt and evolve to overcome challenges in their environment. The Komodo dragon, in its resourcefulness, displays the ability to adapt to limited options, to not only survive, but thrive against difficult odds. Now, let's talk about those eggs. Komodo dragon eggs are about the size of a grapefruit and have a tough, leathery shell. The mother carefully selects a nesting site, often an abandoned megapode nest or a termite mound, and lays a clutch of around 20 to 30 eggs. She then covers the nest with leaves and debris, providing insulation and protection from predators. The incubation period is long, typically lasting for about 8 months. During this time, the mother may guard the nest, although her level of parental care varies. Some mothers are fiercely protective, while others abandon the nest altogether. This variation in parental behavior is another fascinating aspect of Komodo dragon biology that scientists are still trying to understand. And here's where things get really interesting. Remember how we talked about the Komodo dragon's cannibalistic tendencies? Well, those tendencies don't disappear just because there are eggs involved. In fact, Komodo dragons are known to raid nests and eat the eggs of other dragons, including their own. This behavior may seem shocking, but it's likely driven by a combination of factors, including hunger, competition for resources, and a lack of discrimination between their own offspring and those of others. It's a harsh reality of life for young Komodo dragons, and it's just one more example of the extreme survival strategies that these animals employ. Once the eggs hatch, the baby Komodo dragons, which are about a foot long, are immediately on their own. They are vulnerable to predators, including larger Komodo dragons, snakes, and birds of prey. To avoid becoming a meal, they spend much of their time in trees, where they can find shelter and hunt for insects, lizards, and small mammals. These arboreal youngsters are surprisingly agile climbers, using their sharp claws and powerful tails to navigate the branches. It's a completely different lifestyle than that of their adult counterparts, who spend most of their time on the ground. The transition from tree-dwelling juvenile to terrestrial adult is a critical stage in the life cycle of a Komodo dragon, and it's a time of great risk. So, to recap, we've got a giant lizard with venomous saliva, the ability to reproduce asexually, cannibalistic tendencies, and tree-climbing babies. If that doesn't sound like something out of a science fiction movie, I don't know what does. But the strangeness doesn't stop there. We haven't even talked about their incredible senses, their unique hunting strategies, or their complex social behavior. And perhaps, most importantly, we haven't talked about the threats they face and what we can do to protect them. These dragons have an unbelievable sense of smell. They can detect carrion from up to 5 miles away. They do this by flicking their forked tongues to sample the air, Then they insert them into a sensory organ on the roof of their mouth, called the Jacobson's organ. This organ analyzes the chemical composition of the air, allowing the dragon to pinpoint the location of its next meal with incredible accuracy. It's like having a built-in GPS system for finding dead animals. And it's not just carrion they can smell. They can also detect the scent of blood, which makes them formidable predators. But that's not all. Their sense of smell also plays a crucial role in their social interactions, allowing them to identify other dragons and assess their status. The Komodo dragon's hunting strategies are as diverse as they are deadly. They are ambush predators, meaning they lie in wait for prey to come within striking distance. They use their camouflage to blend in with their surroundings, and they can remain motionless for hours, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. When prey gets close enough, they explode into action, using their powerful legs and sharp claws to take down their victim. Once they have a hold of their prey, they use their serrated teeth to inflict deep wounds. And of course, there's the venom. The venom contains a cocktail of toxins that inhibit blood clotting, lower blood pressure, and cause muscle paralysis. This combination of factors quickly overwhelms the prey, making it easier for the dragon to finish the job. But Komodo dragons don't always hunt alone. They are also known to hunt in groups, especially when targeting large prey, such as deer or water buffalo. In these cooperative hunts, the dragons work together to surround and isolate their victim. They may use different tactics, such as ambushing from different directions or driving the prey into a trap. This coordinated behavior suggests that Komodo dragons are more intelligent and social than previously thought. It's a reminder that even the most fearsome predators can benefit from cooperation. And speaking of social behavior, Komodo dragons have a surprisingly complex social hierarchy. Dominance is established through a combination of size, strength, and aggression. Larger, more powerful dragons typically hold the top positions in the hierarchy, and they have priority access to food and mates. Subordinate dragons, on the other hand, must be careful to avoid conflict with dominant individuals. They may display submissive behaviors, such as lowering their heads or avoiding eye contact to signal their deference. These social dynamics play a crucial role in regulating competition and maintaining order within the Komodo dragon population. It's a delicate balance of power that is constantly being negotiated. But even this complex social structure doesn't fully explain the Komodo dragon's reign. There's still the matter of that infamous bite, the cocktail of bacteria and venom that turns a seemingly minor wound into a death sentence. For years, scientists believed that the Komodo dragon's saliva was septic, teeming with harmful bacteria that infected their prey, leading to their demise. The theory was they were basically walking incubators of disease, and their bite delivered a lethal dose of infection. It was a gruesome, if somewhat simplistic, explanation. However, recent research has revealed a far more sinister truth. The Komodo dragon's mouth isn't just a haven for bacteria, it's also home to venom glands. These glands, located in the lower jaw, produce a complex venom containing various toxins that disrupt blood clotting, lower blood pressure, and induce shock. The venom essentially weakens the prey, making it easier for the Komodo dragon to hunt and kill. This discovery revolutionized our understanding of Komodo dragon predation. It wasn't just about overwhelming their prey with brute force and septic saliva. It was about strategically incapacitating them with a potent venom. But why venom? Why evolve such a complex and energy-intensive system when bacteria seem to do the trick? The answer likely lies in the size and resilience of their prey. Komodo dragons hunt large animals, including deer, pigs, and even water buffalo. These animals are not easily subdued, and they can inflict serious injuries on a Komodo dragon during a struggle. Venom provides a crucial advantage, allowing the Komodo dragon to quickly weaken its prey and minimize the risk of injury. It's a biological arms race, a constant adaptation and counter-adaptation between predator and prey. And the story doesn't end there. Even the Komodo dragon's senses are uniquely adapted to their environment. They have excellent vision, allowing them to spot prey from a distance, and a keen sense of smell, which they use to track their quarry over long distances. Their forked tongue, similar to that of a snake, helps them detect chemical cues in the air, allowing them to locate carrion or potential mates. They can even detect subtle vibrations in the ground, alerting them to the presence of approaching animals. But perhaps the most remarkable adaptation of all is their ability to thrive in such a harsh and unforgiving environment. The islands where Komodo dragons live are hot, dry, and sparsely vegetated. Food and water are often scarce, and competition for resources is intense. Yet, the Komodo dragon has not only survived but thrived in this challenging landscape. They are apex predators, masters of their domain, perfectly adapted to their unique ecological niche. This brings us back to the original question: what makes Komodo dragons so abnormal? It's not just one thing, it's a combination of factors. Their size, their cannibalistic tendencies, their ability to reproduce asexually, their venomous bite, and their sensory adaptations all contribute to their unique and bizarre nature. They are a living testament to the power of evolution, a reminder that life can find a way to adapt and thrive in even the most extreme circumstances. They are a biological marvel, a creature that defies easy categorization and challenges our understanding of the natural world. The Komodo dragon is a puzzle, a complex and fascinating enigma that continues to captivate and intrigue scientists and nature enthusiasts alike. They are a reminder that the world is full of wonders, waiting to be discovered, and that even the most familiar creatures can hold surprising secrets. As we continue to study and learn about these incredible animals, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the diversity and complexity of life on Earth and the remarkable power of evolution to shape and mold organisms to fit their environment. They are truly unique, truly abnormal, and truly awe-inspiring. And their story is far from over. The secrets they still hold may unlock even more insights into the workings of life itself and remind us how much more there is to learn and explore in the vast and wondrous world around us. The dragon's tale continues, whispered on the wind across the Komodo Islands, a testament to resilience and the enduring power of nature. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe. Comment what you want to hear next. But what about their social lives? Are these apex predators solitary, or do they have complex interactions? The answer, like so much else about Komodo dragons, is surprisingly nuanced. While they aren't exactly social in the way that, say, wolves or primates are, they aren't completely solitary either. They tolerate each other, especially around feeding sites. Picture this: a water buffalo has fallen, perhaps weakened by the dry season. The scent of blood carries on the wind, and soon dragons begin to converge. A hierarchy quickly establishes itself. The largest, most dominant dragons get first dibs on the carcass. They might posture, hiss, even engage in brief wrestling matches to assert their dominance. Subordinate dragons wait their turn, patiently circling, snapping at flies, occasionally darting in to snatch a scrap when the larger dragons are distracted. It's not a friendly gathering, but it's a functional one. They understand the benefits of cooperation, at least to a certain extent. They know that working together, even if grudgingly, means everyone gets a meal. And what about mating? The Komodo dragon mating season is a dramatic affair, filled with ritualized combat and intense competition. Males will engage in fierce wrestling matches, using their powerful legs and claws to try and unbalance their opponents. They'll bite at each other's necks and tails, leaving scars that serve as badges of honor, proof of their strength and dominance. These battles can be brutal, but they are rarely fatal. The goal is to establish dominance, to prove to the female that you are the strongest, the fittest, the best choice to pass on your genes. Once a male has established his dominance, he will approach a female and begin a courtship ritual. He'll rub his chin on her back, lick her, and try to entice her to mate. The female, however, is not always receptive. She may resist his advances, even attacking him if she deems him unworthy. She is, after all, investing a great deal of energy into producing eggs, and she wants to make sure that she's choosing the best possible mate. If she accepts him, the mating process can be a lengthy and delicate affair. The male has to be careful not to injure her with his sharp claws and teeth. It's a dance of power and vulnerability, a testament to the complex dynamics of nature. And then there's the remarkable phenomenon of parthenogenesis. In the absence of a male, female Komodo dragons have been known to reproduce asexually, laying fertile eggs that hatch into viable offspring. This is an incredibly rare ability in vertebrates, and it's just another example of the Komodo dragon's extraordinary adaptability. It's a survival mechanism, a way to ensure the continuation of the species even when faced with limited resources or a lack of suitable mates. Imagine the implications. A female dragon, isolated on a remote island, could still populate the area with her own offspring, carrying on her genetic lineage. It's a truly remarkable feat of biological engineering, but perhaps the most fascinating,